Intel is acquiring a company called Granulate. So Intel is the unit share and market share leader for servers. I think their market share is around 85% or 80% today. And AMD has the lion's share of the rest. And then you have folks like IBM Power and IBM Z, and of course ARM in there as well. So one of the biggest challenges inside of a data center is efficiency, right? You don't want to burn too much wattage, and all things equal, ceteris paribus, the more power you put into the system, the more performance that you're going to get. And there have been a lot of ways that CPUs can moderate the amount of power they draw. Some of these are inside of the CPU. It goes all the way back to Intel's SpeedStep 20 years ago to be able to bring voltage and frequency up and down depending on what you're doing. But Granulate, sometimes you need additional software to make that happen. So what Granulate does is it fine grain when it comes to things like microservices that are a lot harder to modulate with power. It allows you to modulate performance and power. Does not require any developer intervention on the operating system or on the application. So if your application isn't very good at working directly with the new breed of CPU, or the operating system isn't, you can use Granulate to do that. My expectation is that Granulate gets sucked into some lower level firmware or some type of driver that makes it even so auto magic that even the end enterprise doesn't have to do anything. I did get a tweet from Dylan Martin, who said, hey, I have a leaked memo from Intel that says that they're going to be selling this. By the way, those can both be true. You can be selling it today, but in the future, it could get sucked into the firmware to make it even easier, and enterprises wouldn't have to load any software.
Well, doesn't that basically address what Intel's trying to address by effectively making this acquisition, moving up, or I guess moving closer to the silicon layer where this optimization automation takes place? I mean, there's been software for a long time that companies buy and invest in to try to as I said, a lot of it happens like in public cloud, for instance. It's in the control plane. You're trying to optimize workloads. You're trying to optimize software to, make the compute work as efficiently and effectively as possible. You want to boost performance of every core. And so the idea of being able to, do this more, quote unquote, what did you say, automagically?
Yeah.
And that really is what this is all about. And Intel's solving a problem that tends to go out the stack. So you go from, we love to say you can't run software on air, right? So silicon is the one common ingredient. No matter what workload you're running it on something. And so as companies sprawl of software, as they need to optimize more and more every workload in their data center, try to maximize every core, Intel has the opportunity to be a partner to these companies in terms of streamlining and automating that. So, I'm not, it's still fairly high level to me, in terms of how the company's going to monetize this, how they're going to make it inclusive, how they're going to, but I do think software optimization is got to be part of the story right now. And so this acquisition gives Intel the opportunity to expand their story, and help customers reduce CPU utilization and app latency, which is a big thing that every company's doing. They're either buying software to monitor it, and in this case, they're actually looking at ways to implement it where the customer doesn't have to think about it, just put it in play. So
see, it's auto magic, baby.
It's auto magic like it should be.
Yeah. So it's funny, in the entire press release, it didn't say if it was using AI or machine learning or some sort of deep learning, but essentially it learns your application.